Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and I want to say Shalom, Jok and Akwath out there, pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's another impromptu lesson. I got a couple different topics here. I really couldn't decide what I wanted to go in on today, so I figured I'd just start the lesson up and let the Holy Spirit take its course. So of course I got this up, I got the Bible up, quite a few things here. Now originally this was basically just another lesson, something like along the lines of like let's rag on Esau or something like that, right? Another lesson getting on Esau, because I have a lot of stuff here, of course pertaining to Esau's doings. I didn't really know which one I wanted to get on. So I got a bunch of stuff here that we're gonna look at, and yeah, man. So let's just get right into it. All right. Where do I want to start? I guess the best place to start would probably be getting a scripture about Esau, okay, or Babylon, since of course this is about Esau. So let's head over to the Bible and get something to start up with. Let's go ahead and get what do I want to start up with? You know what? Actually, let's go ahead and get an article, and that'll drive us where we need to be. So which one do I want to get? There's a lot of weird and sick shit in here. So let's start with two. Let's start with two. All right. So let's start with these two. This was in where was this at? This was in where was this? I believe this was Esau. Let me see. The mirror donkey infected. All right, here we are. We can go. How do we unsave this? All right, so don't need that anymore. Actually, maybe we do. So this is the actual page that they got it from. It says 15 teens and children treated for rabies after gang raping an infected donkey. This is the news of the world, folks. This is the news of the world, folks. Right? Sounds like some Trump would say. It says the youngsters aged 7 to 15 were reportedly rushed to hospital after discovering the animal had the disease. Disgusting. I guess it was in Morocco. Okay, and we go to Morocco. Yep. Alright. So you see it's over there in Ishmael territory. This one's not about Esau. But not everything in this lesson necessarily is about Esau. Just a lot of it is. Some of it's about the world, alright, in general, or America. But this one has to be in Morocco, which of course is on the south of Spain. So you just never know. You just never know. But that seems to be an Ishmael. What's the word? Providence. Providence. Okay. So you see it. It's over in the Mediterranean Sea, Morocco area. But yeah, man. It says 15 children and teenagers. And Ishmael, it doesn't surprise me because Ishmael's known for doing that type of shit. All right, during the Iraq-Afghanistan war, there was a video that was circling around of not infrared, but thermal footage from either a Black Hawk or Apache helicopter, and there was this guy, this Arab guy that was fucking this goat, and of course, judgment came to him. All right, shortly after that video, you just hear, and then Just, that's it. That's all you hear. All right, it's just those machine guns spinning up on those Apache or Black Hawk, whatever it was. All right. But it says 15 children and teenagers from a small rural town in Morocco have been treated for rabies after reportedly gang raping an infected donkey. The youngsters, aged 7 to 15, that's a whole bunch of people, man, it says were rushed to the hospital after discovering the animal had the disease, according to local reports. The youth from a small tribal group spent a week at the Mekra'ah Belsiri hospital while the donkey was killed to prevent further people from being infected. Yeah, I wouldn't want more people fucking the donkey, right? It says the families of the 15 people are said to have reacted in distress and horror after being mocked throughout the small town and northwestern region of Garb Karada Beni Hussein. It says Al Akhbar reports that local authorities are searching for anyone else who may have had a similar contact with the animal. Number of infections is feared to be much higher, as some families reportedly took their children to hospitals outside the region to avoid humiliation. So more than 15 people were fucking this donkey. That is absolutely ridiculous. It says parents in the small town are also secretly having their children vaccinated in case they had approached the animal, reports claim. So, and you see it, rabies is almost always fatal as soon as symptoms show, but treatment before this happens is very effective. That's why, that's one of those things you need to pray, and then you need to probably go and get that rabies shot if you come in contact, with a lot of these things, more than likely. Because there's certain things you just don't get. You don't need the flu vaccine. You damn sure don't need to get the other thing, but you don't really want to fuck with rabies. Same thing with tetanus. All right, with tetanus, you don't fuck with rabies and you don't fuck with tetanus, right? Because those things will fuck you up, all right, permanently. So, and again, don't take my advice on anything. I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do, but if you need to inquire to the apostles, all right, speak to them on it. But if you come in contact with rabies stuff, that's pretty much the only way. All right, is through the rabies vaccination, all right, as they call it. Of course, pray, all right, but also you got to be smart, all right, with dealing with it. Sometimes you got to go to Esau. Even the elders, Great Millstone, will tell you that. If you got shot or your arm got chopped off, you're probably gonna have to go to the doctor. Probably gonna have to go to the doctor for that. All right, it doesn't mean prayer is not effective. It means pray and then. Okay, now for stupid shit like, regular sicknesses and diseases that aren't like permanent or fatal, what's the purpose of even getting those, right? You don't even need those, all right? Rabies is 100% fatal, okay? And then tetanus, it's a serious disease of the nervous system, potentially fatal, all right, bacteria. So, yeah. You get lockjaw. It can interfere with the ability to breathe, causing death. It can cause death. It's rare, but yeah. So those are two things you really don't want to mess with, man. And again, I'm not giving you advice, telling you what to do or what to do. That's between you and the Most High at the end of the day, and you should see what the apostles say. All right. Even if I say that's some serious stuff, I would still go to the apostles and see what they would say about that. All right. And I'd really just wait through the Most High, all right? And you don't have to ask the apostles everything, all right? You don't need to bother them for every little thing. But if there's something that you really, really can't discern, you should always pray and ask Yahweh Shemi Shai, and he'll give you the answer. But if there's something you're really struggling with discerning on, ask the apostles, all right? They've been in this truth for many more years, all right? And they have insight on things that you might not have insight on, all right? And of course, if you can't discern it or understand it, all right, and the apostles can help you understand it. So, again, I'm not part of GMS, but that's who I learned from. So if I have questions, that's who I'm gonna go to, all right? So, but yeah, man, this, and a lot of these guys are gonna die, all right, because a lot of they're hush hush. They don't want to admit that they were doing stuff with a donkey, and then when that rabies hits, there is no cure once it hits. All right, there probably is somewhere out there, but Esau ain't gonna let the regular people have it. Same thing with Ebola, how apparently there was some people that ended up contracting it, and they went down to CDC headquarters and got cured when Ebola is 100% fatal. Again, once the symptoms are there, it's 100% fatal, right? Well, at least it was at the time. I don't know if they've made any advancements on that, but the same thing, right? With cancer, they don't have a cure for the general public, but you rest assured they have some stuff that the billionaires can get, all right, that'll make it go away. All right, there's been like every few years you hear stuff about cancer cures coming about, and then they just disappear, right? They just go away. So interesting. It says, imagine and this is talking about the donkey. Imagine dying from fucking rabies and getting gang raped at the same time. It says, yeah, I feel bad for that poor donkey. It was killed shortly afterwards to prevent further spreading. It's just ridiculous, man. It says, this is the most disturbing part. They were concerned further locals would continue to rape it, causing wider exposure. Morocco, hang your head in donkey raping shame. Ridiculous, man. It's just... Look, man, let's go get a scripture. This is why the Lord doesn't have no dealings with the heathen, man. The heathens are weird. All right, and that's why you're not supposed to even go around them or learn any of their ways, because this is one of their ways. You'll learn their other ways, but not this way. Why? You can't just pick and choose. If you're going to be like them, you got to be like them. Guess you got to line up, all right? Disgusting, man. This is what these heathens do. Isaiah 40:17. All nations before him are as nothing. They are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. We actually got to go up from 15. It says, behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket and are counted as the small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. In Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beasts thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. All nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. Now, the word vain, all right, the word vain means producing no result, useless. All right, it can also deal with pride, but in this context, it's talking about futile, useless, all right, worthless. So they're worthless to him. They're less than nothing. First, it says all nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing. So they are less than nothing. Do you know how little you have to be less than nothing? Less than nothing at all. All right? That's not zero. That's negative. All right? That's -10, -30. All right? That's not just zero. That's below that bar. Now you're going into the negatives. Now you're going into debt. Right? That's how little these heathens are counted to the Lord. Because this is the type of stuff that they do. They're wicked, man. They're just disgusting. And Esau's the worst of them all. All right, let's go and get that. We can prove that in Hebrews 12:16. It says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. So no one is bad, even among the heathen. All right, you can go and get this. This is Obadiah 1:1 showing you that Esau is the lowest of the low. And remind you, the nations are counted less than nothing. They're already negative. So what Esau leveled on, it's not even something that we can even compare to. He's just completely separated from the Lord in a complete different realm of his own, of just detestment and disgusting and hatred and vile, unrighteous, blasphemous filth. All right, just complete different level. All right, Obadiah 1:1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, concerning Edom, we have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. There you go. There you go. So they're the lowest of the low, all right? Because we already read, well, I closed out of it, but we already read how the heathens are counted less than nothing, all right? Again, negative points, -50, negative 100. And Esau is somehow still lower than that, all right? Think about that. That shows you how low this people is. the people in Morocco or whatever they be, because some of them could be Edomites down from Spain, and some of them could just be Ishmaelites. All right, a lot of people mix. There's not one land of just everybody. Even in the land of Ham over there in Africa, there's Jake, there's Esau in South Africa. There's a bunch. There's a bunch of different people over there at land. So some of those people are Ishmael, some of them are Edomites, some could be Jake over there too. So, but yeah, they're the lowest of the low, even lower than a Moroccan fucking a donkey. Can you believe that? Because you got to think about the stuff that Esau does. They're a little bit more secretive about it. All right, they're a little bit more secret about it. Now the Lord will blow the top on those types of things, because that's usually what happens. Nothing that is done in secret. We can get it right here in Luke 8:17. It says, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest." Manifest in this context means made apparent, right? "Neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad." So a lot of that time, Esau's little dirty dealings, all right, slip through the cracks. And, not that they want it to, but it does. But still not to the exact degree that some of the other nations do, all right? They try to really be, hard on it. But, all those things end up being revealed. For example, you had the weird bloody baby carriages or and stuff like that in those Jewish tunnels, and I believe it was in New York under that synagogue. Of course, the whole Epstein situation. I have stuff on here. We might look at, might not look at. Maybe a lesson for another day. Like I said, I'm just picking and choosing. It's all impromptu through the spirit on what we're getting and what we're not getting. But there's just Esau's little wicked games. Here's one about Esau that just again, there's no one as profane, no one as wicked as Esau. Look at this, man. This shit pissed me off, and it actually made me sad. My wife too. I showed her about this, because look at this cute ass little motherfucker, man. Look at this cute thing. All right, look at how cute that thing is. You might think it looks dorky, but I think it's cute. It's a Wara, or a Falkland Island wolf. Look at that thing, man. Look at that little face. It's goofy looking. It's probably just bad taxidermy at the end of the day, but it's cute. It looks adorable, and it's got little teeth sticking out. All right, look at that. But let's see what Esau did to it. Let's see what Esau did to it. All right, let's read it. It said, "Today I learned that the Falkland Islands used to have a native wolf called the Wara that was so friendly and unafraid of humans, it would literally swim out to greet boats." It would literally swim out in the water to greet people. Ain't that cute as shit? The settlers wiped it out in the 1800s because it was too friendly to run away. It was the first canid to go extinct in recorded history. This animal is so friendly. Let's kill it. All right? It's bringing love. Don't let it get away. Yeah, break its legs. Just ridiculous. It's Esau, man. It's fucking Esau. And it's by the settlers. Who was the settlers? Who settled in the Falkland first? French. All right. It's a matter of controversy. It says it's been claimed by the French, the British, the Spaniards, and the Argentines. So French, British, Spaniards. All right. Argentinians, they're Jake, but all these other ones are not. All right. And these three will be. Right. Anyway. Old song. I think it's We Three. Anyway. But French, British, Spaniards, all right, all Edomites, all warring, see who can conquer the most land, right? Goes to show you. What does Esau do? Esau just kills. Again, let's get some more on him. Let's get Proverbs 4:16. All right, let's get that. Because that's exactly what this is. They have to do something. They have to. All right, it says, Proverbs 4:16, "For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall." Again, dealing with Esau. They just have to do something wicked. And remember, the ancient version of mischief means wicked, iniquity, sin. Now it just means, mischief, a harmful little prank. like those hand buzzers. That's mischief. That's mischievous. No, but that's not what it meant biblically and historically. Mischief was wickedness. It was evil. It got dumbed down later on to just mean something small, right? And it doesn't mean anything small. It means something severe, very wicked. All right, and they cannot sleep. These people cannot sleep unless they're doing something wicked, unless they're popping a kid and on Jeffrey Epstein's island, unless they're wiping out a native species, killing some people, lying to them about their history, poisoning someone. They got to do something. They cannot sleep. It's like a glass of wine before bed for us, or like winding down and watching a little bit of TV before us. We have to have a little bit of an unwind to go to bed. They need to do mischief, or else they can't sleep. They're like, I just haven't done wickedness enough today. I just haven't killed enough people. I just can't get to bed, right? I just can't do it. Hey Bill, hire a killer to go snuff someone on live stream for me and show it on FaceTime. That'll let me to go to bed. That's these people, man. And you say, no, that can't be the case. No one can be that wicked. You don't think that no one can be that wicked because you don't see it. You don't see it. Okay? You do not see it. And you Edomites that say, I would never do that. Give you about $1 billion. You'd start doing it. You'd start doing it. You don't think about it right now because you don't have the power to do it. All right? And you might still think about it, but you don't have the power to do it right now. Right? You don't have the power to do it. If you went and did something like that, you'd go to prison for the rest of your life. But when you're a billionaire, you don't have rules. So, and it's like what's that test? What's the name? What is it called? It's like not integrity. It's the
Hey there.
like a there's a name for it. Like doing good even if it doesn't affect no. There's a name for it. There's a name, man. There's a name and it's driving me nuts. It's like the something test. No. Not it. It's gonna drive me mad. No. It's gonna drive me fucking mad, man. Fuck. Anyway, I'm not gonna waste any more time. There's a test that basically is will you do something good even if no one sees it, right? And they're the opposite of that, right? When no one sees them or people in the like mind and they have money and they can hide it and they can do whatever they want, it really brings out their true character, all right, of the demon like beast man, all right, the devil that they are, all right. They're just a demon, all right. They like killing and doing all this weird shit. It's just they've always been like that. They've always been like that. All right, going back to even people like Elizabeth Bathory, all right, rubbing blood on her face to stay young. Like, it's just, that's who they are as a people. Okay? You can't change who you are fundamentally, just like you can't take away Jake's rhythm, man. Their rhythm and flow. You can't take away that salt. Okay? Now, I'd say you can't take away their spirituality, but with the whole C to the O to the D with a little bit of that ID after it, Maxination. All right, they said that was to one of the things that it does is kill the God gene. All right, because Jake has a God gene. So how much of that is accurate, we don't necessarily know. But that just shows you Esau's wickedness, man. To go and to see an animal that's so friendly and you just like, man, we want to kill it. Let's kill it. Let's kill it. All right. This is animal. He's so sweet, so nice, so cute. Let's just kill him. All right. It says in the Voyage of the Beagle in 1839, Charles Darwin documented the war's remarkable tameness, noting how these wolves showed little fear of humans. What do you think so many animals have fear of humans now? Do you think it's because of Jake? No, because it's Esau. All right. They had to learn that. They had to adapt to survive. Okay. That's why animals run when they see us now. Okay. Is because they think we're just going to kill them. Okay, that's some sick shit. Back in the day, I bet animals didn't run like that, right? It says, often approaching closely and even swimming out to boats. He described their curiosity as a key trait which made them vulnerable to hunting. All right? So it's just, man, it just pisses me off. It's enough to make your blood boil. All right? It says, realive them, boys. Why? So Esau can fucking kill them again? It says, why did humans kill this animal instead of domesticating it? Like, most of the work domesticating seemed to have been already done. They wiped them out just because they assumed it was a threat to livestock like sheep, when in reality it mostly fed on small animals scavenged from the air. No, they wiped them out for fun. The sheep was a new animal in the ecosystem, so the Waro were probably just curious, as Darwin comments on the curious nature. The European settler had zero tolerance for any predators, even the potential ones. Also, their fur, and they were killed for museum specimen. Yeah, just killed for fur and for specimen trophies, right? Because they were the only native land mammal on the island. So, there you go. Says leave it to humans to... No. Leave it to Edomites. Okay? Leave it to humans to kill and destroy everything nice. Leave it to Esau to kill and destroy everything nice. It says, dear God, the Carolina parakeets. When someone shot one of the birds, the others would gather around in curiosity and attempt to aid and eventually mourn their fallen friend. This made it easier to shoot further birds. Yep. There you go. It says they're just too damn friendly. Feels like they're up to something. I know I am. You know, it's just... Why is everything that we can't kill so damn unfriendly, hostile, or dangerous? These goddamn rats and mosquitoes, man. Why can't everything... Why couldn't a nice, friendly animal ever evolve? Kills everything else. True. You know, it just pisses... It's enough to piss you off, man. Esau's a fucking asshole. Alright, just take... Yeah, this world's fucked up because of Esau. Right? Because of Esau. All the things they do with all the pollution that they put out, and all the poisons that they put in the food, and all the native species that they've killed off, and all these things. And they're cutting things down. They're cutting trees down. They're cutting forests down. They're there for a reason. The Lord had them there for a reason, you fucking dipshit. Alright? And now you go and wipe them out, and you want... Well, you know, I don't know what's going on with it. It's like when they removed the wolf, for example, from the, they removed the, wolf from the, was it Yosemite? I think it was Yosemite. It was one of the national parks. Or is it Niagara Falls? Let me see. Not world, but wolf. Yeah, the Yellowstone Wolf Project. That's it right here. You can see by the late 1920s. Let's see if I can find it. Let me see. Okay, the wolf. All right, show you more of Esau's dumb shit trying to play God. Okay, and we'll get that. All right, this is a history of the Yellowstone wolves, right? It says the wolf, one of Yellowstone's most important predators, roamed the landscape and influenced the ecosystem for thousands of years. By the late 1920s, wolves were eradicated from Yellowstone in an effort by the U.S. government to tame the wilderness. Get rid of all these wild animals from the wilderness. I wonder how that worked. That along with the removal of other carnivores like cougars and bears, this action had a profound effect on Yellowstone. Who would have fucking guessed? Esau trying to play God and fucked everything up like they always do, because they're a fuck up. They're a dipshit, man. They're a fucking retard. Because in the absence of carnivores, elk numbers boomed, which resulted in significant changes in vegetation. Beavers became increasingly rare, and food web dynamics were significantly altered. With the loss of the wolf, the park was missing a keystone species that altered the structure and function of the entire ecosystem. You fucked up an entire ecosystem. Stupid. Starting with the Watershed Endangered Species Act in the 1970s and finally in 1995, with all the pieces in place, 14 gray wolves were captured in Canada and relocated to Yellowstone's Lamar Valley. In 1996, 17 more Canadian wolves were brought into the park, followed by 10 wolves from northwestern Montana in 1997. The wolf population grew quickly as pack territories and breeding pairs were established. The monumental undertaking marked the first and deliberate attempt to return a top-level carnivore to a large ecosystem. The impacts of the wolf recovery have been significant. With their return, Yellowstone's large carnivore community is fully restored, and wolves are again playing a critical role in Yellowstone's natural ecology process. So yada, yada, yada. But what I want to look up is, so when they reintroduced the wolf to Yellowstone, what all improvements were seen? A wide range of ecological ripple effects. Okay, let's see. Elk populations were very high and organized. Overgrazed young trees and shrubs, especially willow, aspen, and cottonwood. They damaged streamside ecosystems. After the wolves, the elk numbers dropped. Their behavior changed. They began avoiding certain open areas, allowing vegetation to recover. Vegetation recovery. The beaver population increased. Increased river health. More vegetation meant stronger riverbanks, less erosion, and better water quality. Food for scavenger. Wolves kill mostly elk, and left behind carrion, which provides food for bears, eagles, coyotes, ravens, other scavengers. Coyote numbers decreased, right? Fewer coyotes meant increase in rodent population and red foxes, all right? Bird diversity increased. More trees and shrubs meant better nesting habits for songbirds. More about everything. It just fixed everything because the Lord, it's almost like the Lord had those wolves there for a reason. And Esau said, we don't need these. We don't need these. Let's kill them all off. You fucking retard, man. It's enough to just piss you off. These devils are fucking stupid, man. They're dumb. They're just dumb. They're just dumb. They're base men at the end of the day. All right. This is Job 30:8. It says, they were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And a matter of fact, if I go to ChatGPT, I asked it a question not too long ago. It was said, where was it? Here it is. Base man. Okay? When the Bible says base man, what does that mean? It says when the Bible uses the phrase base man, it's talking about someone low in status, character, or morality. Basically, someone seen as vulgar, unworthy, or lacking nobility. Base here doesn't mean foundational. It means low-born, dishonorable, or corrupt. Okay? So, the lowest of the low. All right? Low-born. Low-born. Low-born.
Low-born.
All right, born to a family that has a low social status. Okay, low-born. All right, just completely, you're just low-born. All right, you're base. You're just base man. It's like Sims without the expansion pack. All right, that's what you are, man. That's what you are. And who wants that? Who wants that really at the end of the day? So let's get what else? So we can unsave that. We'll probably, close out with that. We'll get a couple more things and then just close out with that, honestly, because we're almost to the 40-minute mark here. So let's get Isaiah. Let's actually go from verse 12. And probably going to close out with this. So let me go see if there's anything else I want. Let's see. Let's get Job 18 and 7 too. Alright, let's get a couple of these. So, this is Obadiah 1 and 3. Okay, of course, it's dealing with Esau. Alright, you can see that in verse 1. It says, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. Okay, this is concerning Edom. Okay, Obadiah 1 and 3. It says, The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, Who shall bring me down to the ground? That's the pride, right? They think they're like the Lord, all right, as we're going to get in Isaiah 14 and 12. They think they're like the Lord. Really, they don't think they're like the Lord. They think they're better than the Lord. In verse 4, it says, Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, that's a hint right there. It says, And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So he's going to, and know what else is going to happen? Here's another one. Job 18 and 17. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. Now, mind you, it talks about in the end, all right, after you've gone into captivity, it says the whole earth is at peace. They break forth into singing. You know how that's some Disney level stuff, man. The world's gonna be at so much peace. I'm like, I can't believe Esau's gone. He's finally gone. They're gonna be singing, right? The birds, in Disney, the birds will probably be singing. As they're going, they're gonna have the deer frolicking and dancing with the song, right? I'm making, a humorous thing out of it, but it's a real thing that's gonna happen, right? Maybe not along to that level, but I'll go and prove it. All right. Right here in Isaiah 14 and 7. We'll start from 5. We'll start from 4. All right, because up above that it talks about captivity, which you guys are gonna go into. But the point that I was mentioning is in Isaiah 14 and 4. It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, the rulers of Babylon, right? And say, How hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. I mean, stop. You stopped. It's done. They've been stopped. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted. Now you're persecuted, right? And none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. This is going to be a celebration when you guys are gone. You know how bad of a person you have to be that people are gonna celebrate that you're done? Ridiculous, man. It's hilarious. It's hilarious what you've done. So, yeah, man. Give me a minute. Get this aromatherapy peppermint stick thing. Good for stuffy nose. Fantastic. Got menthol, peppermint, cajeput, whatever that is, and eucalyptol. Whew. Hope those passages right up. I'm gonna grab a drink while I'm at it, and then we're gonna get Isaiah 14 and 12 on down for a few verses, and then we're gonna close out. So, Get it. Isaiah 14 and 12. Lucifer means light bearer. It's also, it's dealing with a person. All right. They equate this to Satan. All right. Like spiritual demon Satan. Talking about Esau. All right. It's a man. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? So you once weakened the nations, but now you're low. Okay? It says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High. That's Esau's thought. That's why they do these things. They remove these things. They remove these populations, do all this wickedness. Because they think they're God. They think that they're the Lord. They think that they can do whatever they want. That's like cloud seeding. All right, the harp device, all these different things, making rain happen, changing the weather, doing this, that, and that. They think they're the Lord. They're playing God is what they're doing, and they're terrible at it. You should really, play something else, dress up or something. You're good at that, right? You're good at that. You dress up as royalty, and you know what? I'll take that back. You're not really even good at that either. All right, you have the outfits, okay, but the rest of the behaviors, they could use work. All right, we're looking for improvement, Esau. They could use work. If I was a judge, 4 out of 10 needs work. All right, you're not doing such a good job because Esau, you're being revealed by the Lord. Hilarious. But what's going to happen really? In verse 15, it says, "Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell," and that's judgment, destruction, "to the sides of the pit." This is going to come in the future. "They that see thee," that's everybody, "they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners?" This is the guy, right? That opened not the house of his prisoners. That's what they're going to say. This is the guy. Him. Just drooling on himself. Oogie, ooga booga. And what the fuck is this motherfucker? Cave beast. He's all hairy, sitting down, drooling on himself, making baby and caveman noise. Him. That's the guy. "Oh, call all you, how about shimmy how shy? That's an example of your power, Lord. Look at how powerful you are because you made this guy into a ruler. Wow." Mind you, in the kingdom, this guy's going back to his natural state. All right? So, who knows how they're going to be? All right? Who knows how they're going to be? Just like we're going back to our natural state, they're going to go back to their natural state. So, but the thing is, we're going to be tall, dark, handsome. Girls, you can have fat asses, all right, and voluptuous breasts. All that time you stand in the mirror looking at yourself, "I don't think I'm good looking. I think I'm ugly. My boobs are too small. My ass is too flat. Blah, blah, blah." You ain't going to have to worry about that. You're going to have rocking bodies, all right? And you men that can't gain weight and can't get those muscles up, boom, bam, bah! You're going to look like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, even better, all right? Dark, muscular, tall, all right? And you're going to be bad looking, all right? And your girl's going to be bad looking, all right? And you'll just be a badass looking couple, man. And all of us are, right? But the heathens, not so much, all right? Esau especially not. So, and there will be some good-looking heathens around, but nothing compared to Israel. After all, we are the top, so ain't nobody can look better than us, right? So, and right now, even in Esau's land, the Jake man is the most sought-after man, all right? And then if you look at Esau, they all want to get with black women, right? So, that's just how it goes, man. That's just how it goes. It's the white man knows that their women ain't really nothing, so they want to get with the black woman. If it's not the black woman, they want to get with the Latino woman. If it's not the Latina or Native American woman, they're going to want to get with one of the other heathens, right? And the Jake men, all right, a lot of the time you end up going and getting with whoever because you're so desired. And then, of course, not the black woman, because the black woman will treat, usually everybody else nice but you, all right? That's just part of the curses, okay? But, which isn't a free pass on your actions, you ladies, because there's good Jake women out there, all right, that actually are nice and good to their husbands. It's just few and far in between in the numbers. So we're under the curses too. Does that mean we need to, Ike, turn to the fuck out of you? You dumb bitch! Bam! No, we don't do that. All right, we don't hit our women. That'd be dumb as hell, and we'd be wicked to do so. All right. So why do you get to hit us and yell at us? You don't. All right. So that's why we don't go around you. But there are good black women out there. Don't get that twisted. When the brother's saying the black woman this, black woman that, all right, they're not talking about every single bit. They're just talking about 99.9% of them. All right. But there's that 0.1% out there. All right. And some brothers have them as wives. All right. But they're only really being given to us. All right. And this truth. Okay. So, and that's through grace and mercy of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So that we can actually, have dealings with our own people and, not have that hell. But you out in the world, if you get a black woman and you're black, oh, yeah, no, she's going to let you have it, man. She's going to let you have it. Let me see your phone. All right, let me see your phone. Who you messaging? You talking to other bitches? Let me see your phone. What you doing? Well, you need to get a better job. You ain't doing this. I want this Gucci purse. You can't afford it. That's because you broke. All right? I'm going to just go down to Raekwon down the street. He can afford it. He a drug dealer. You ain't shit working at 9 to 5. Yeah, ain't nobody want that. All right, but the Jake woman that we have ain't like that. All you how about you, I'll try for that. But yeah, man, it's just hey, man, this place is through. You can see it, and it's all showing you that this place is on the out. And Esau in his own territory right now is already losing it, but he's especially gonna lose in the kingdom. All right. So, yeah, man, in the kingdom, we're going to have it all good. They're going to have it all bad. And that's that. So you got a lot of repayment for all the wickedness that you've done, E. All you do is wicked, destroying things, destroying animals, taking lands, killing people. And you're just a bad person. You're just a bad guy. So that's a lesson. All right. Again, I don't have a title for it. Lord, want to come to me. Host. All right. And after I wrap this lesson up and start uploading it, Lord willing, Pop come to me for the title. But yeah, man. So that's the lesson. I'm gonna close out there. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makakadash. I want to say Shalom Diak Nagwath out there. Keep enduring. Keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Till next one, Lord willing. Shalom.